Zach here, and today we're excited to welcome Ryan Maher, CEO of BizzyCar. Ryan is here to discuss how BizzyCar's AI-driven solutions are working to fix a broken recall management system, keeping consumers safe, OEMs compliant, and creating more service opportunities for dealers. And BizzyCar's recent $15 million investment highlights the urgent need in this space. So, Ryan, thanks for joining me on the podcast today.
Thanks for having me, Zach. Great to be with you.
And Ryan, you've spent years working in the auto industry. Can you share a bit about your journey and what inspired you to focus on recall management with BizzyCar?
Yeah, so I'm a third generation car dealer from the Midwest. Grew up in the space, washing cars and learning the car business starting at 12 years of age, and really enjoyed being around cars. I mean, who doesn't love climbing around new cars when you're a kid, right? It's the fantasy
Definitely.
and the joy of doing that. We set off a couple. My brother and I set off a couple of car alarms in the dealership on Saturdays. They didn't, the store didn't always love that, but we had a passion for the car industry. And other than 5, 6 years in the Marine Corps, I've been doing this a long time. And one of the things about automotive is there's really like multiple businesses inside of one, especially on the retail side. We sell cars, we finance cars, we sell parts and we fix cars. And recalls were always a part of that. And I just didn't realize how many recalls were out there until Takata airbags kind of
Mm.
happened. So we were getting hammered from our OEMs on Takata, and BizzyCar really started because our one of our OEMs sent me an email on a Saturday. They told me we had a recall problem in our PMA in our backyard, and we had to go fix it. And I was just tired of getting those emails, and we said there's got to be a better mousetrap. And so what we did is we said, well, what's like an automated way in which we can go out there and make this happen? And literally on a whim, we went to Auto Trader and we started looking for used cars in our backyard that maybe these recalls were sitting on other dealer lots. And as it turns out, we were right. And in our very first month, we made 40,000 bucks going out there and finding used vehicles that had recalls and going in and getting them repaired and driving into the service department. And shortly thereafter, COVID hit, and we said, well, we gotta fix these cars. It's the only way to keep our technicians employed, and the rest is kind of history.
That's awesome. And now, just this year, there's 21 million plus recalls
25
already.
million. We just released our newest thing
25.
today. I know.
Wow. So, what are some of the biggest challenges in the current recall system? Why do you think it's so difficult for the auto industry to kind of address these efficiently?
Yeah, so recalls are just the scale of this is massive, right? Over 70 million cars today with an open recall, about 25 million recalled so far this year, 30 million last year. And the reason why, at least from my humble opinion, is that these cars have just gotten so complicated. And what people forget sometimes is that Ford and Nissan and Toyota and Volkswagen, yeah, they're car manufacturers, but they're really car assemblers. And they
Hmm.
have thousands of subcontractors and thousands of vendors. And what they're doing is they're assembling these products, and you're kind of hoping something doesn't go wrong with them. And that's just unrealistic. And think of your car today. I mean, heated seats, cooled seats, drink holders, lumbar support, all of these electrical pieces. And these cars are just super complicated. And when something goes wrong with them, they have to get repaired. They have to be recalled. And a lot of them, unfortunately, are safety issues. Even companies like Tesla, who have brand new software defined architecture vehicles, A lot of their recalls, they're being kind of beamed through these over-the-air updates, but
Hmm.
the Cybertruck this year, 5 or 6 recalls. One of them, you had to bring the vehicle in to get repaired. So it's this problem even for the biggest car manufacturers out there or the newest are really struggling with the complicated nature of these vehicles.
And you recently announced a $15 million growth round. What changes should we expect to see from BizzyCar in the next 6 months, especially as you mentioned some of the kind of pain points in the recall space?
So our core product really works by going into the dealership, integrating into the DMS and the service scheduling system, and then we call it automagically reaching out to consumers and letting them know they have a recall and getting them scheduled for that recall appointment. That's the magic of busy cars. It's the pure automation. And we're really excited about this 15 million growth round from Dealer Tire. So 30 million now raised to date. And the
Wow.
beauty of the 15 million is we can do two things. One, we're going to really double down on some of our technology. We're doing a tremendous amount of R&D with AI, improving our AI algorithms, doing a lot more for our customer communication, and we've got some new products that are coming to market, which we're really excited about. And then the second thing we'll be doing is hiring. So we're looking to hire about 40 people right now. We
Wow.
just got we got 2 new hires starting next week, which I'm really excited about, and we'll do the bulk of that hiring in early 2025.
Super impressive. And, one of the trends kind of shifting gears I've started to see is this trend toward mobile service. And how does that affect customer relations? What are your thoughts on this like mobile service trend?
So huge opportunity. If you're sitting, I mean, you're at home today or in your office. I love your background.
Thank
Beautiful
you.
looking at the Bay Bridge there. It took me a second, but you and I are sitting here. We're talking on a podcast. Where's your car? Is it in your driveway? Is it in the parking lot? And what consumers are demanding in 2024 is they want convenience. They want a great customer experience. And right before you and I connected today, I had my salad, brought to me from Uber Eats or DoorDash, right? One of the two things.
Nice.
And why can we not do that in auto repair? And it's candidly something that this industry has to do because consumers are demanding it. The challenge is that you have to do it profitably. And I'm a car dealer, but at the end of the day, I'm a business person. The math has got to work. And what we've seen over the last few years is a lot of manufacturers try and make mobile service work, but they didn't have the technology to make it efficient enough to be profitable. So we're really focusing in on our mobile technology, routing, dispatching, optimization, payment integration, photos,
Hmm.
things that exist inside of the store today where you have this ecosystem. All of that technology has to exist out in the world, right? Or out in the field. And so we've spent the last, 2 almost 3 years now slowly building this mobile app, and now we've really doubled down on it. And just this year alone, added over 500 dealers onto the mobile app.
Wow. That is definitely a lot of onboarding, I can imagine, from just the software side. That is impressive. And let's drill down a little into the software. So, how does BizzyCar's AI platform work to streamline the recall process for OEMs, dealers, and consumers?
Yeah, so you can't be a software company today and not have AI a part of your ecosystem. So we're using AI in 2 different places. One is with customer communication. That's the Chat GPT,
Mm.
the Claude, the Google Gemini. People are used to those tools as consumers. Really, really good technology. And instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, we use the best service providers out there, in our case, Microsoft and Amazon. And we've built custom models for recalls in the service space. So it's been an incredibly effective deal. And we're booking thousands, and I mean tens of thousands of appointments using that communication every day and every week. So that AI piece has been really effective. The other place that we're using it is in optimization. So, what are things that a dealer has to do today in order to manage their service department or manage their shop loading or manage their capacity? These are all of the things that a human has to do today. And if the human doesn't do it the right way, or they're looking at all this data, maybe they're
Mhm.
just not as efficient as a computer. And so we've really got some big training sets of data. We have thousands of customers, thousands of dealers. And what we've been able to do is apply these models, these AI models, to make things run more efficiently in the store. And boy, has that been a huge boon for the dealers because it frees up capacity, right?
Mhm.
if if the mobile truck can do 3 appointments in the morning instead of two, if I can do an additional recall or an additional tire rotation while the customer vehicle is already in the service bay, that's so much more efficient use of the technician's time. And so we're really using AI in some creative ways, and we got some good stuff coming out in 2025 that we'll be able to share at some point.
Nice. And kind of taking a step back, what are some of the most common mistakes dealerships make when it comes to like managing recalls, and how does BizzyCar kind of help them avoid these pitfalls?
Yeah, so number one is they forget about parts. And the
Mm.
parts manager is probably the most overlooked, human inside of the store. And if the recalled part or the supply chain part isn't there, and that's the benefit of using a platform like this. We're directly integrated with the OEM. So our OEM partners are not just giving us recall data, but we're also getting parts and supply chain information. And then we're also looking at that information inside of the store. So if you don't have the part available, the customer might say yes, but you can't service them. So huge problem for the dealership. We've completely eliminated that as an issue. The second thing that happens is you typically give recalls to your BDC. And it's like, oh, well, they're just up there and they can make phone calls, right? But they don't know how to answer the questions. You really need a service advisor, or in some cases a service manager, to be able to address some of the complicated aspects of a recall. For example, there's some recalls on luxury brands you can't repair in the field, or they
Mm.
require to remove an entire dash, and so the recall might only show 1 or 2 hours of labor, but these are complicated repairs, and the service manager's like, we probably need to apply the right technician at the right bay at the right time, and that's the challenge of using the BDC. So the what we've done on the BizzyCar side is we've solved for that. We've controlled for that. And I mean, we're doing so many appointments per day, and per year, that we know all of these tricks of the trade, and we've been
Mm.
able to automate it into making a better experience.
So, with safety on the line, recall compliance is critical for OEMs. Can you talk about how BizzyCar solutions support compliance and transparency?
Yeah, so compliance means a lot of things, and we have to be compliant from a federal regulation standpoint. So how do we do our outreach? You have to be TCPA and CAN spam compliant. You have to make sure you're being truthful. You're not upselling the consumer on a recall, right? That's against the law. Then you have to know state compliance. California has a lot of rules around opt outs, and you know, you can't, if the customer's coming in for a recall, you can't upsell them on a set of wiper blades. If the customer asks, it's
Hmm.
different, right? So you have state rules, you have federal rules, and then we operate internationally. So We launched in Canada earlier this year, and we're going to be moving toward other locations in the near future. And you have to follow all of those regulations as well. So at the end of the day, recalls present a safety issue. These cars are unsafe. A Takata airbag will kill you. It will kill you. And so we want to fix these problems before they can cause a hazard to our end consumer. But you gotta work through all of the regulatory nature at the same time.
So many dealerships, they're already struggling with labor shortages and resource constraints. How is it for a dealership to integrate BizzyCar into their current processes and workflow?
Yeah. So we're completely touchless. The beauty of BizzyCar, my favorite, I was at a big dealer meeting in Dallas 2 weeks ago, and I mean, we had 500 dealers in the room, and my
Wow.
favorite thing to tell them was, I'm going to come into your store, I'm going to integrate to your DMS and your service scheduling system. I'm going to flip the switch, and then you're not going to touch it. I'm not going to train you. I'm not going to teach you. You're not going to have a login. And the value, the power of that to a dealer principal, like my family or me, very powerful, right? When you talk to owners or executive managers and some GMs, a lot of, GMs traditionally are very variable focused. They're strong to semi-strong on fixed, but it feels like a nuisance to them or a headache. Man, when we can come in and show those GMs, I can increase your gross profit $20,000 a month and you don't have to do anything. Boy, that's like incredible to them. So I think hitting the labor, there are labor shortages. The other thing that mobile brings is it's a whole new opportunity to bring technicians into our industry. And what we've seen with mobile in our stores is we're bringing in technicians candidly that never would have applied for a job inside of the store, right? St.
Mhm.
Louis, it's 100 degrees in the summer. I don't want to go work in a shop. But if I can be in my own mobile truck, and I'm out on the road and I can kind of control my destiny. I don't have a shop foreman or a service manager breathing down my neck. What a great opportunity to bring people into our industry.
Definitely. And could you share a success story where BizzyCar significantly improved recall completion rates or boosted service opportunities for one of your dealerships?
Yeah, so we have a big dealer group in the Northeast, about 30 stores, and I mean, last month for them was ridiculous. I mean, almost $600,000 of new revenue. That's
Huh.
that's an insane success story. And again, these are recalls that would otherwise not have been in the store. So we measure something, Zach, called DSLV, days since last visit. We average at BizzyCar 600 days since consumers were last in the store. So I'll give you an example. In this one particular dealer group in New England, the the customers may have bought a car, serviced for 2 or 3 years with the dealer group, and then they defected, right? They went to mom and pop for whatever reason. What we've been able to do, because you can only get a recall repaired at the franchise dealership, what we were able to do is bring these customers back into the store. Great for retention, right? And not only are they happy with the experience, but maybe they want to buy a car. So the
Yeah.
value for that is huge. And you just need the customer to have that great experience with you in the store or out on the road. And, we have some great success stories on our website. We've got some great video testimonials because the product is just fully automated and fully automagical.
So, Ryan, I wanted to ask you kind of an AI like futures question. So, as we look into the future, what role do you see AI playing in recall management? And are there any new developments at BizzyCar that we could look forward to in 2025 that you could discuss?
Yeah, so AI is going to be prevalent. I mean, it's changing the industry. there's just a lot of what we would call repetitive administrative work in the recall space, and we really believe that that should be automated away. It used to be things like RPA, robotic process automation, but
Mhm.
you had to do a lot of training in order to make that work, whereas AI can do a lot of decisioning on top of it. We feel very strongly that there are a tremendous amount of things in fixed, everything from identifying recalls upstream, looking at statistical regression on parts and supply chain, getting the right part to the right place at the right time. And if we can start throttling and kind of optimizing capacity settings so that we say, all right, we're going to really focus on this new recall that just came out, there's no reason why we can't have completion rates that are in the 80, 90% range 6 months from when the recall was announced. And
Mhm.
those numbers are triple what you would normally see. I mean, normally you're looking at 25 to 30% completion rates. AI allows us to dramatically increase the outreach and the scheduling. And it's such a better experience, right? So imagine you're at your house, you get that letter, right? It looks like it's from your manufacturer. Those days are gone, right? Like,
Mhm.
why can't you're telling me I have a problem? You're forcing me to go to the dealer's website or call them. We allow through our text message integration, through our AI, you can tell the dealer exactly what you want live. We're scheduling the appointment. You never have to leave your text. We make sure the parts are there. We make sure that the right capacity settings are there, the right technicians there. And I think you'll really, we've got some great demos. You'll get to see what this looks like in 2025 up close, and it'll be really exciting.
Super impressive. And I'll be at NADA. Maybe there'll be some exciting stuff there. So, finally, what advice would you give to dealers, whether used car, new car dealer, on staying proactive and effective in recall management?
So being a car dealer in 2024, I mean, the gravy train's over, right? We're not making $10,000 grosses on cars. You have to be focused on fixed ops, and the core part of your fixed operation strategy has to be recalls. There's 70 million of them out there. That's 1 in 4 cars on the road today has an open recall. 25 million recalled this year, just this year. So divide that by the 17,000 franchise dealers are out there. It's thousands of at bats. These are customers that you can reach automatically and you can drive them into the store, and it's significantly more cost effective than service retention marketing or snail mail, right? Let's use that. Let's retain these customers and get them built up. And I think in the next few years you'll continue to see huge, margin compression on variable and huge opportunities in service. Dealers have to get really, really smart on fixed operations these next few years. And its recall strategy is a great place to start. Mobile strategy is a
Mhm.
greenfield opportunity. Why lose your customers to a Jiffy Lube or a Valvoline or a Firestone? Why let that happen? Mobile allows for that, and especially with EVs, coming around the corner, you got to have an EV strategy. Mobile can be a part of that, and then we think there's a lot that can be done with service scheduling. Everything, we're just obsessed with fixed ops and giving a great dealer and customer experience.
Well, Ryan, it's been awesome to talk to you. I've learned a little about management as well. Thanks for joining me on the podcast today.
Thanks for having me, Zach.